Hey trainers, AlaKaHAMM here, ready to bring you some more Pokemon video magic. And what I have today is the first set of battles from the first ever tournament that I have hosted. And I'm playing with, just friends from my Facebook community. And I think it's going to be really, really fun. So hopefully the Summer Ham tournament continues over time. I think it's going to be a fun way to get some great footage here. So I am playing up against Bvill. I love his username, like Bdrill, so he's doing another kind of pun like I am with my AlaKaHAMM username. And we decided to play in the Master Leagues. We're going to jump into this first set, and he leads with a shiny Mewtwo. That is amazing. It's a really tough Pokemon to hit as a lead, but how cool is it to see that shiny one? I knew they didn't build up to Shadow Ball, so I went ahead and took the Psystrike, and then I went to Shadow Ball myself, and he tried to call my bait, and it just didn't work out. So he immediately swapped into Garchomp, and he got me to swap into my Mamoswine, and Mamoswine was doing super effective damage against the Garchomp, but it's doing less well here up against the Metagross. So I haven't had the TMs to be able to give my Mamoswine Bulldoze, so that's pretty bad. Bulldoze would have done a lot of damage, but Bvill called the bait on that one, and this time he was right, and it worked out for him with the Mamoswine. So after launching a couple of Shadow Ball attacks, I thought I could try to bait with Psystrike, and I did get that last shield right before Mewtwo went down. So that was really lucky. And then my last Pokemon here is Yveltal, which I think is going to be a really strong closer in Master League Classic. Yveltal is going to do super effective damage against the Metagross, and I probably could have farmed up a little bit more, but I did not want to risk getting hit with a Meteor Mash, and then the Garchomp comes in. So Outrage is going to do a lot of damage, but Earth Power is going to be resisted because of Yveltal's flying typing. So I got pretty lucky that I think this is a single move Garchomp. It's one of the new ones from the recent Community Day, so Bvill just hadn't had time to add that secondary move, which was really lucky for me because otherwise I would have completely lost the match. So that was a really, really great round, and I was nervous several times there because the Mamoswine was not where it needed to be, and Yveltal could have gone down. It all just came down to moves. So here we go again into the second match, and I've decided to lead with a Porygon Z. Porygon Z is super glassy, so I do have to shield pretty much anything that's going to come through if I want to be able to launch these charge attacks. So I like leading Porygon Z because Tri-Attack is going to have a chance of lowering the defense of the opposing Pokemon, and I do build up energy to that second Tri-Attack before they are able to launch Psystrike, and I did get the attack and defense drop, so that's great. That's exactly what I was going for here, but that Psystrike does completely take me out. So the shiny Mewtwo on the lead again, wreaking havoc. Bvill is getting so many charge moves cranked out here, and took my final shield. I did not want Ho-Oh to take a Psystrike for sure. So they swapped into something, a Zapdos. Yeah, so I just kind of blind through Earthquake because I did not want to do Brave Bird yet, and I attempted to catch on this hippo thing, whatever it's called, Hippowdon. Yep. Which I did, but unfortunately, this is a Hippowdon that only has a single move. It just has that rock-type Weather Ball, and Bvill has a really great response to my single move Hippowdon in the form of that Metagross. So Metagross is going to do really well there, but Ho-Oh is going to be able to one-shot with the Legacy Earthquake move, so that is unfortunate for Bvill there. He comes back in with the Zapdos, and I need to build up to Brave Bird, but I am one Incinerate away, so he is going to be able to do super effective damage with Thunderbolt, and that is a GG there. So great, great play there from Bvill. wonderful energy management, making sure that that Zapdos was ready for me at the end. So that was a really fun match. Also, how cool to see Zapdos show up in the Master League. You don't see Zapdos very often, so he was definitely bringing the spice. Okay, this time I kind of anticipated Mewtwo, so I thought maybe I should lead a Steel type, and I did go ahead and try to catch on my Yveltal because its Psystrike is going to do even less to Yveltal than it is to Melmetal. I figure the worst this could be is a Fire Punch, so yeah, and Earthquake is resisted, so I went ahead and built up a lot of energy, and I thought, I could go for Dark Pulse, but I could one-shot with Focus Blast, and Bvill called the bait, and unfortunately, again, it did not work out that particular time. But he came in with a Machamp and put some pressure on my shields by launching an attack as soon as he got it. So I had to go for Focus Blast here because the Dark Pulse was going to be resisted. And in this case, I think it's time to just let the Yveltal go. What I need to do is line up Garchomp with the Machamp and try to go for probably Outrage. I knew this was a cross chop and that it wasn't going to KO, so I thought may as well take the attack and go for Outrage and see what I can do to save shields for Mewtwo. I really need for Mewtwo to be aligned with Melmetal and not to Garchomp. So again, I figure I can let that through as a cross chop, and this time I went for Earth Power because that would be enough to KO, I think, and it is more energy efficient. But that Machamp did a lot of work there. Building up and not quite able to get to the attack before Mewtwo farms me down. And here I made a mistake. I was so eager to click on an attack when Melmetal came back in that I clicked on the wrong side of the screen. And I did Superpower, which not only is ineffective against Mewtwo, but it lowers my defense. So Mewtwo has the debuff has been reset. What my Porygon did doesn't apply there anymore too. And here I'm missing bubbles as well, which is so. I mean, my gameplay was terrible in this particular match. So I'm like, okay, I've still got Rock Slide, and I missed some bubbles here too. But even if I hit all the bubbles, that wasn't going to KO the Mewtwo right there. I was just going to have to hope that I could farm down with the Thundershock attacks, but I don't think it was going to happen. So again, GG, that shiny Mewtwo putting in work at the end of that match. Shiny Mewtwo has really been the bane of my existence in this first tournament match. So I knew I had to change things up. Bvill had been pretty consistent about choosing leads, so I thought this time I need to go straight to the Yveltal, I think. So I put Yveltal up front, and it is again the shiny Mewtwo. So this is a great lead for me. He appropriately switches out because that was not going to be a good time for Mewtwo. And he brings in a Glaceon, a 3,000 plus CP Glaceon. You love to see it. I hardly ever see Glaceon in the Master League, and if I had stacked up on dragons instead of having a Kyogre this time, that Glaceon would have wrecked me. So it was really sort of dumb luck on my part that I happened to include a Kyogre in this particular team. So I wasn't going to get to multiple charge moves, so I just went for Thunder because I knew that it would do more damage, and Bvill was willing to go ahead and take that attack. So I decided to go ahead and come in with the Yveltal. Ooh, this is unfortunate for Bvill because that everything now is weak to Yveltal. So I wanted to get the Dialga in there, so I swapped into the Dialga. It was going to do fast move damage a little more, so it was going to close out the game a bit faster. So switching in the Dialga there was nice. That was another good game. That's an unfortunate result with the back line, right? Okay, so coming up against that Glaceon again, and the Glaceon was doing a lot of chip damage to that Gyarados, so I needed to switch out of that as soon as I could, and I go for Earthquake on the Metagross, and tried to call it and let it through, but now I'm Energy Dry, so they can come in with Mewtwo. And even though Psystrike is resisted, it's going to do quite a bit of chip damage. Psystrike is no joke, even when it is doing resisted damage. So I'm able to get the first shield with the Meteor Mash, and my word, it just takes Metagross forever to charge its attacks. So I'm taking on a lot of damage here, but I want to save those shields for my other Pokemon. I was going to try and go for Earthquake there, I guess. I don't know what I was doing. But I wanted to save shields for other Pokemon because Landorus can do really well with shield and or energy advantage, but you've got to be able to protect it because Landorus is fairly glassy. I also knew that I needed to bring in the Landorus here because Landorus was going to have a terrible time against that Glaceon, which was stacked with energy. But as you can see, we had a problem there. We kind of lagged out. So Bvill sent me a message to say that he got an error code partway through that match. So the final match, the fifth battle, didn't actually get to be finished up there. But Bvill was looking like he was in a pretty good place with that Glaceon to close out against my team. So we're going to call that fifth match a draw, and Bvill is going to move on to the next round of the tournament, which I think will be really exciting. So I hope that you have had fun listening to the shoutcast of those battles, the first battles in the Summer Ham tournament. And I have two more battle sets from the tournament ready to edit and to get uploaded and to share with you soon. So I hope that you'll follow along with us through the tournament journey. Until next time, trainers.